No, do that.
Well, we gotta.
Yeah, there should be a.
No, there's no flip.
There you go.
What's up, peoples? It's hard to say that two intellectuals rotate the device. It's hard to say that two people that went to school for this shit really can't even work this shit. Ain't that something? You know what I'm saying? But what's up, IM family? You know, that's the iFam. That's hashtag iFam. We gonna get that started. That's basically my internet family. What's happening? This your boy Lavelle Claiborne.
Mayor and Peve.
What's happening, y'all?
So we want to welcome you to the B&W Show.
That's right, Black and White Show, baby.
The Black and White Show. We like to call it the B&W Show because it ain't all black and white.
Correct.
Okay. And what we mean by this is, and I am reading this because when I wrote it, it was straight from the mind, and I just put it down on paper. So I'm just spewing it back to you off of the papers.
A little rough today. That's all right.
Yeah.
You know.
So what we mean by this, there's always more than two sides to every story.
True.
There's his side.
That's right.
There's her side.
That's right.
And there's the truth.
Truth, baby.
Or there's the black side, the white side, and the truth.
Which will set you free.
Right? Because it ain't all black and white.
True indeed.
Okay.
Just like a snake. Poisonous snake don't always mean that colors. It means that it's poisonous. Sometimes it's non-venomous. How you know? You don't just get bit to find out, huh? No. We're going to do the research first. We're going to do that research first.
So the show's not really looking for the truth.
Nah.
Okay. But what we are looking for is a cleaner truth. And an understanding from opposing viewpoints.
Understanding.
Without name-calling or arguing or saying anyone is right or wrong.
Right. And hell no, and just walk away. Nah, that ain't gonna how you do it. You know, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get started here with the show. Do want to tell everybody thank you for your 5 minutes to give us that time of yours. So, you know, just to get a little background about the show, my man Aaron's gonna go ahead and break you off and let you know about himself. Then we want to go myself, or are we good?
No, go you and then go me.
Me? Okay. So basically,
it's
about
the B&W Show. The B comes before the W.
That's correct. That's correct. You know, so we're gonna do this PC. We're not PC, just to let you know. Basically, you know, name's Lavelle Claiborne. You know, 42, and I got a boxer. I'm a husband, father, brother, uncle, and a son. Let's go with that right now.
All right. And then, so my name is Aaron Peve. To tell you about myself, I was born in Southern California, Camp Pendleton to be exact.
Oh, Camp Pendleton.
Camp Pendleton. Marine Corps base.
Oh, yeah. Me too. Wow.
Yeah. But was raised in the small town of Prescott Valley, Arizona. My mother was a single mother of 3 for a number of years until she met the man who became my dad. I've eaten government cheese and government peanut butter.
See, he ain't the only one that has some of that government cheese. See, you think it's just us. Nah, see?
However, I do got to say, I'm a peanut butter connoisseur.
Really?
And I think government peanut butter is probably the best peanut butter I've ever tasted.
Well, see, I'm going to tell you like this. Government cheese, you make some of the best grilled cheese sandwiches.
For sure.
That,
well, because it melts well.
And it's so thick, so juicy, so good. Boy, that sounds good.
But however, I am a gun-toting, red-blooded constitutionalist in America. And when I say constitutionalist, I believe that all men are created, men and women, men and women.
Syllable word you giving people. Constitutionalist?
Constitutionalist.
Okay, he followed the Constitution, y'all. Y'all know that. He know it.
All men and women are created equal, and the Bill of Rights applies to every American, big or small.
Right. Every American. He didn't say no color American. Right. Every American.
Every American. I believe if you want to own a gun, show it a gun.
Yep.
We'll get into those topics later.
Yep.
But my biggest thing is, I was asked a couple times because as I was promoting my show, I was asked a couple times why I came up with this show. You know, with who I am and my background, right? So, about a year or so ago, a good friend of mine asked me to be a part of his wedding party.
Yeah.
Right. And at that time, that's when Colin Kaepernick was doing the kneeling of the during the American flag, during the national anthems.
Yep.
Right. At that time, I had my own opinion as to whether or not I liked it or not, and that's neither here nor there at this point. But when we would get together, me and Lynn and Scooney and Big Mike, when we all get together and do our practice and stuff, you guys would start talking about it, right? And I kind of kept myself out of the conversation because I knew what my opinion was.
Right.
Right? But I didn't know your guys' opinion.
Right.
Because I've never talked to black folk about it. Right. So I didn't have a well enough opinion on that side to create an opinion on that side.
Right.
So I just kind of sat back and listened. And then I started thinking to myself, does my opinion negate the amount of friendship that I have with you to where I would hold on to my opinion enough to like, I can't be friends with you anymore because we don't agree.
Right.
And I said, no, that doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
That doesn't make sense to me to have that kind of opinion, to not at least understand and have a conversation with my friend and go, okay, now we both have understanding. And we haven't really fully talked about it yet, and that's kind of what we're starting off with the show. But that's what kind of got me into, like, I wanted to be a part, not want to necessarily be a part, I just want understanding.
Right.
Because there's a lot of people out there on both sides that don't have correct understanding from either or, right?
Right.
You know, some of the people who are kneeling just to support Colin Kaepernick is not taking it from the other perspective, you know, and vice versa. And the people who are mad at Colin Kaepernick aren't taking it from his perspective.
Right.
So this is just kind of, and not that we have anybody here for that perspective, but I have you here and you have me here, and that's kind of the direction I want to go.
Right. Right. You know, because really, if you can't voice your opinion to your peers, what kind of friendship do we have?
Right.
You know, and even if you're on that side opposing, because we don't agree on everything.
Right.
But the fact of to not let our disagreements damage who we are, you know, to each other, you know, it's more the seek of, and let's have understanding about who you are and where you come from.
Right.
You know, like when you was in school.
Right.
Something you said, I still don't remember what you said to the teacher in class. I was just like, you know what? This man says some shit that I need to know who he is. So, what was it back 2000? When we graduated? 2000.
We graduated in 12. Yeah.
Yeah.
12.
So since 2012, after school, I just say, hey, it's the person I just want to know in life, you know. And from that, I want to know his background, where he came from. You know, I'm not a cowboy. I couldn't tell you the first thing about roping. Actually, you know, I couldn't tell you the second thing about shooting. You know, I don't walk around toting guns, do know how to use them, but that's not the whole thing here. The whole thing is just trying to seek somebody that's different from me and still want to know the understanding where they came from. So, you know, we can build from there. So that's pretty much how our relationship started. And it's been pretty much, you know, a Rubik's Cube since then. It's been lively, fun, and entertainment. Did some things. He came to my wedding. One of my best men at my wedding, you know.
And vice versa. You were best man.
That's right, vice versa, you know. So in order to get to that point, you know, you got to have a lot of understanding in who this person is and how I feel about him going from there. So, you know, it started off a B&W. It still is a black and white thing, but it's not all just black and white,
right.
You know. So now I don't want to get off subject because I do know you was talking about, you know, the Colin Kaepernick and things of your mind. So I'm going to go ahead and let you continue with that one, what you wanted to talk about first to let the people know why we're here.
Well, first off, I want to shout out just because it's my wife. Saying hi, guys. So, hi, baby. I love you. Hopefully I don't gonna do that too much on
Miss Feelers.
Yeah,
that's right, Feelers. She's a Steeler fan. I call them Feeler fans. You know, matter of fact, continue. Let me go. You got
to. This is on Facebook Live, so we're gonna work out on how we're gonna do with the comments and that sort of stuff. Because we do want feedback and we want to. We want multiple opinions, not just our own. There will be times, not on this show, just because it's our inaugural show. You know, we'll have special guests and be able to talk about with other people feelings. And it's not won't always be a black and white thing. You know, we'll have different ethnicities, or we'll have different ways of life, just to get understanding from all walks of life. So to get into the standing of the national anthem.
Yes.
How did you want to go forward? You want the national anthem missing beats, or?
Let's just go for the reason. Okay, so Colin Kaepernick sat down. People had an uproar about it. You know, there's other athletes that have been sitting down that people don't even know about it until the media brought attention to him. Marshawn Lynch been in the years for many years. He done sat down in many games. Nobody said anything. But however, the whole thing with the Colin Kaepernick is just, I believe where it jumbled into is because it was a misunderstanding of why he was kneeling. Basically, his thing was about injustice, and he's kneeling for social equality. Not social inequality, social equality. Mainly against the injustice of police brutality. Not against black people, against everybody. Because contrary to what we believe, white people are getting shot just as much. Black people are getting shot. Brown people are getting shot. Okay, not too many Asians. Okay, well, I don't know what it is with that. But, you know, most thing that's being publicized is the injustice of black minorities. I don't know what it is just about black minorities, not what about the brown minorities, and what about those white people that are getting shot or getting treated misfairly as well. But right now, it just seems to be on this black thing, but it's not just a black and white thing. Once again, it's a thing with humanity in general. So, that's what he knelt for. Now, as far as the NFL and certain owners jumping in saying, "Oh, we need to stop this," well, you know, when you tarnish the image is the shield. Nobody wants their shield to be tarnished. Okay, so that basically, from their standpoint, opinion is this is why they jumped in, because it's starting to affect their bottom dollar, which is their money. Now, we can all have a consensus of how ownership thinks. But we really never know, because I'm not a billionaire. Are you?
I'm working on it.
I'm working on it. And I'm dreaming real strong, though. I'm dreaming real strong.
I ain't dreaming. I'm working on it.
So I just thought it would be real intriguing to actually look up the National Anthem, which we all know about, which we all have heard dozens of times. But when it comes down to those last two, the last stanza that nobody knows about, I took the liberty of researching that and actually finding that. So I went ahead, and I'm going to take place first. Let me tell you my source. My source was theroot.com. This is where I got this from. Now, what I'm going to do is just read off the last two lines of the regular anthem. So, and I cannot sing, so I'm not even going to try it, okay? If I sing, I might break the camera lens. I don't know. You know, so it says, "Oh, say, does the Star-Spangled Banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?" Song normally ends. What we never heard was the lost stanza, which was the last part, and I'm going to read this now. "And where is that band who so volunteeringly swore?" Sometimes I have, you know, that enunciation problem, so that's why I got Aaron. He has a good education over here. That the havoc of war and the battle's confusion, a home and a country should leave us no more. The blood has washed out their foul footsteps' pollution. No refuge could save the hireling and slave. Hireling? Thank you. See, education. Hireling and slave from the terror of flight or the gloom of the grave. And the Star-Spangled Banner in triumph doth wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Now, that's written in pretty much Old English. I don't know anybody that still talks like that today. Do you?
Fairly well.
You know, I'm even confused when I go into the court. Not to say how frequently I go into the courthouse. We're not going to talk about that now. But, you know, that's the only time I would hear type of language of that is when, you know, you listen to the judge and they want to read out all these documents, misdemeanors, and all these counts and everything like that. They do so much to confuse you sometimes, like you're sitting in there in calculus class. But
or when you read the King James Version of the Bible.
Yeah, that was spinning too.
Get the ye's, the
yes, and though thou say, yes, and I thou say, you know, so... but that's another conversation. That's a whole nother conversation. That's a can of worms, baby. That's a can of worms. Yeah, you got to get. We're gonna script that because we got future things and future topics. So anything you guys want to talk about, definitely let us know. We'll definitely approach that. So basically, to break down what this last stanza basically means is that, in other words, the blood of the former slaves and hirelings, did I have that right?
Hirelings, yep.
Hirelings on the battlefield will wash away the pollution of the British invaders. But Aaron has broke that down to a little better. What do you perceive that is in your words?
So, if you don't know what a hireling is, if you work for somebody, like you do now, you're a hireling because you were hired on.
That's right.
You work for an individual.
Yep.
So, you're essentially you're a common worker. And then you have the slave. So what he's saying is whether you're a landowner, somebody who is a hired worker or you're a slave. That's what he was saying. Because they're different classes of people. And in this case, and you got to remember the times of this wasn't even America at this time. This was still
1800s, early 1800s.
No, 1700s.
Oh, from that time, yes.
Right. So at this time, not just in America but in the world, the black people, the slaves. I don't just say black people, slaves in general,
right,
were thought of as less than people.
Right.
They were thought of less than cattle because cattle actually had a value, whereas slaves did not.
Right.
Okay. So he's breaking it down, saying whether you're fighting for the country, whether you're a hired person to do whatever it is that you're being hired to do, or you're a slave, there's no refuge in this war.
Right.
And a lot to do with that is part of the article was saying that a few weeks before, the merchant marines, which if you did...
Colonial Marines.
Sorry, Colonial
Marines. Now, for those that don't know who Colonial Marines are, were basically the slaves that went into agreement with the British to fight the war on their behalf for their freedom. So that was the Colonial Marines. So a couple weeks before, basically, what were we at, September 3rd or something, 1815, Francis Scott Key, it said that Francis Scott Key was actually a prisoner on the British boat at the time, which he was not. Francis Scott Key was actually a lawyer, and he was actually on the British boat negotiating the freedom of one of his friends that was detained by the British. So at that time, the Battle of McPherson was going on. So what he noticed is that while he was witnessing the Battle of McPherson from off the boat sitting on the shore, I believe it was in Baltimore at that time, that's where this third stanza came. During that time frame, okay, so and it's funny because the Colonial Marines, we have slaves that went into negotiation for freedom with the British, and then we also had slaves that wanted to fight for America, if we say wanted to fight, or they were driven to fight, or how do you say, motivated,
right,
to fight.
Right. They had more
incentive, maybe.
Incentive, yeah.
So
and so also to reiterate, this wasn't written during or after, or this wasn't written during the Revolutionary War, but it was written during the War of 1812.
Correct.
Which was just as important war as the Revolutionary War, because this is when the British was trying to take back America as the colony, as a providence, as opposed to letting it be America.
Right.
That's what you do. Somebody takes something from you, got to try to take it back.
Get it back, baby.
Right. So that's
snatch my chain.
Right. That's what this.
Snatch my chain. See what happened. Snatch my chain. I was like, I'm taking it back all day. Taking it back.
I saw that game.
Yeah, it was a good game.
Yeah,
I would have drove him right into the point. I would have did the same thing. Snatch my chain on TV twice.
Right.
I'm driving you.
Right.
He drove that dude down the sideline like the dude on Blindside.
Yep.
I was laughing. Snatch my chain. I'm tell you that one. Okay. But keep it going. Yeah.
All right.
Snatch my chain.
So because he got his ass whooped by the Colonial Marines,
he was salty.
He was a bit salty. So
he was salty. He was hating.
He was telling you, just because you're fighting on the British side,
right,
don't think that they're going to give you your freedom. That's kind of what he was saying.
Right. You're not no better still.
Right.
You're still a slave at the time. The ideology of the black man at that time was the slaves were, like he said, was just lesser people. Thank God we have evolved from that time frame. Not too much if you leave it to Trump's eyes, but I'm sorry to jab you, but that's what it is.
What you do have to remember, though, what people forget, seem to forget, is we have actually come a long way in a short amount of time. This is actually the first of this last 200 years, is the first time in modern human history that slavery is actually considered bad practice. Up until the Americas, up until the abolition, since the taking away of slavery on the 19th Amendment.
What's the word you wanted to say?
The abolishment. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
The abolishment of slavery. Up until that point, slavery was a worldwide thing. Like it happened at every point in history up until that point.
Mm-hmm.
So we know, because of the push of America, slavery in every developing country is now considered improper practice. That's why Europe doesn't practice it. The modern countries of Asia don't practice it, and the ones in the third world countries of Asia that are practicing it, it's still considered a global crime.
Right.
The UN, the NATO, and all that stuff, even whether they follow it or not. South America, you name it, it's considered improper human practice.
And it's funny because we would think that slavery is done. Closest form that we have or had of slavery, in a sense, could be the diamonds, blood diamonds in Africa. But also there has been a new known case of some slavery still going on in parts of Libya. So I do have to do some more knowledge on that one so we can share that with the people.
That's a big reason why we don't like Libya.
They got problems.
Right.
Message. You got problems.
And then of course, there's always the human trafficking and prostitution that that can be argued, but that that's against the law, so it's not
right.
a normal practice. It's not meant to be a normal practice. It's actually outside the. So if you're picking up prostitution, stop it. It's slavery.
Right. Come on, man. Even Jared got caught. Come on. That man be eating Subway for 10 years. Next thing you know, they checked his laptop.
Yeah. Woo! Even Eddie Murphy got caught.
Right? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's go Eddie. So we're gonna keep moving along, but we definitely want to touch on that. So as we said, this is a show at a time. Not to say that we have particular things that we want to talk about off top. We just want to talk about whatever comes to mind. So keep moving. We do have that.
Going back onto the NFL and the Kaepernick thing.
Yeah.
So because I haven't rested my point on that point yet.
Okay.
I also want to point out. So people are upset because all the people on the white folks side. Well, not necessarily white. There's a lot of people on those side where they're opposed to it because they say it's disgraceful towards the veterans, right? Right. Which is a fair statement, right? Except for the fact that there's many things that the NFL is doing, many things that people are doing that are opposing to the flag code, which is just a violation of patriotism and spit in the face to veterans as anything else, as the kneeling to the national anthem.
For instance,
to go with the NFL. So, did you know during the national anthem, or at most any time, the flag should be upright and free to wave? So when they bring out that big giant flag and have everybody holding onto it and shaking it, that's against flag code. Because even though they're waving it, they're forcing the wave of it.
Right.
It's not waving on itself. It's not loose and doing its own thing.
Freedom.
It's laying flat against the upright position. It's laying flat, and it's not allowed to wave freely. That's a violation of flag code.
Message.
Okay? So, their uniforms. On their uniforms, and on a lot of sports uniforms nowadays, baseball included, they wear the American flag patch on their uniforms.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
That is against flag code. That is actually unpatriotic. The only people who are allowed to do this, if you look at the flag, are military and servicemen. And that's because that identifies them, mostly with military, in the battlefields as to who they are and who they represent. Okay? On a sports uniform, the reason, or on clothing in general, you should not be wearing clothing in general that have the American flag or are representative of the American flag. Like, if it's just red, white, and blue, fine. But if it's actually designed to look like the American flag or have an American flag picture on it, what's the one thing you're not supposed to do with the American flag?
Let it touch the ground.
Let it touch the ground and get dirty.
Let it touch the ground.
Okay?
Yeah.
You're sweating that shirt all damn day.
Yeah.
Right?
Stanky.
With the thing, what do you do with it when you get home?
Wash
Take it off, you throw it on the ground,
Yep.
you throw it in the hamper,
Yep.
right?
How you gonna decorate the flag like that?
Right.
People,
You don't do that.
how you gonna do that?
You don't do that. Okay?
What's your
That's
patriotism?
that's not what the flag's meant for.
Take it to the dry cleaner,
Right?
something.
So,
Don't throw it on the ground.
next we have you're at your picnic. It's your 4th of July picnic. It's your Memorial Day picnic. It's your Veterans Day picnic.
Mm-hmm.
And you have your lovely red, white, and blue American flag plates.
Yeah.
Or your red, white, and blue American flag napkins. Or your cups. Or your Coke cans that have the red, white, and blue flag on it. Right? They're made with the red, white, and blue
Right.
cans. And not just red, white, and blue, but like the actual American flag.
Right.
You're not supposed to eat off the American flag.
How you gonna do that?
You're not supposed to wipe your mouth
Put food on
with the
the
American flag.
See?
You're not supposed to throw the American flag away in a garbage can. You're not supposed to be selling, marketing, or distributing your product with the vice of patriotism and the national and the flag.
For the
It's
price
not,
of $1.
right? You're not supposed to do that. It's actually against flag code.
Shame on y'all for breaking the flag.
But because it's done in the name of patriotism, it's accepted. So, what Colin Kaepernick was doing, because he wasn't doing it in the name of patriotism, he was doing it in the name of protest. And protest is not supposed to be liked. If
No.
people were liking what he was doing, it would not be a protest.
Right.
It's supposed to
Be a
bring
party.
light to a subject. It's supposed to start conversation,
Which he has.
which is what he's done.
GQ Man of the Year.
Yeah.
You know, definitely for our military folk out there, veterans or still active, still like to hear your replies and your feedback on this. You know, what do you think about the excessive patriotism?
Right, excessive use of patriotism
Excessive
to
use of
sell
patriotism.
or misuse. And not to hear, you know, the plight the American veterans who do support the standing of the national anthem. God bless you. That's your God-given right. That's what you're
Yes.
supposed to do. That's what you fought for.
Right.
But you also fought for the right to protest.
Right. And those, you know, a simple side note that just comes to mind is you see people on TV that kneel and you want to talk shit while you see them, oh, look at them, they don't have no patriotism. How many of y'all are sitting on your ass at home on the couch and don't stand when you hear the national anthem go on your TV?
Not me.
Baseball game, football game, Super Bowl, whatever it is, you're sitting down watching them sing. I bet you're not getting up and standing. You might just go take a piss. You might go off somewhere else and then come back and want to listen to that. But still you have the audacity to talk about somebody else that you see on TV when you ain't even doing it your damn self.
Every time I watch a game, the national anthem comes on, I stop what I'm doing, put my hand on my heart, stand up, and I sing along. My wife asks me all the time, like, what are you doing? You're not there. I'm like, it doesn't matter. It's the national anthem.
Do you rock back and forth when you do it?
I do.
Do you? See,
Yeah,
that's my man.
I do it all.
That's patriotism.
That's
bro.
I do it all because
I'm not gonna
I
lie.
believe. But I also
sit
believe
down.
in your choice to
Right.
to or to not do
Right.
whatever you feel is necessary.
And because I sit down, does that mean that I love the country any better, any less? No, it doesn't. That's a personal opinion.
Yeah, the people I do have a bit of a problem with. One is Marshawn Lynch. I'll tell you why. The other one, there was another person who, for the England games. Well, I'll come back to that. I forget who. And then one of my boys, LaShawn McCoy.
Okay.
Okay, so Marshawn Lynch during the Mexico game, he
Right.
knelt for the national anthem
Right.
because of the injustice of the people, against the cop,
America,
right?
right.
But yet he stood for the Mexican national anthem.
What you mean? The Mexicans don't have injustice going on
Right,
down there. You know?
right.
I mean, cartel take care of everything, dog. You laid.
The
you know?
Federales is the most
You know?
pristine, most trusted.
Man, they love us.
Oh, right,
You ever go
right.
through that border?
Yeah.
6 hours sitting in the car waiting. Good Lord. I'm surprised they ain't got a gas station
Right.
sitting right by that border because I know a couple of y'all done ran out of some gas.
Right.
Okay, you wind up pushing that bitch right across the line trying to get over there to I whatever to the next one. But, you know, I do, I'll just aside, I do hear what you're saying with
Okay.
that. Certain things, you know, you really never look at it from that point until it was noticed, like what
Right.
you brought to Marshawn Lynch.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And then I forget who it was during the London games. There was somebody who knelt for the national anthem, but they stood for the singing of the "God Save the Queen," the English national anthem.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Ew.
right. And, and yet, I want to say I think it was one of the Bennetts. I forget which one, but again, they were that was the country we were fighting against in order to achieve the national anthem.
Correct.
To achieve our freedom,
independence.
And there's no more people who segregate their own citizens, whether they're British or whatever you think about the Scots and the Irish, than the British.
Right.
You know. And then finally coming to my guy, LaShawn McCoy.
So what you got against LaShawn McCoy?
Okay. So
this is close. That's his team.
That's my dude right now. Yeah. You know, every time he gets on the field, I'm like, he's my dude. He's gonna get some touchdowns. I know that. But fucking goddamn it. Stand or kneel. Stand or kneeling. You sit the fuck still.
Right.
The last game, I think it was week 3, one of the games. He was walking around doing stretches. You don't do that shit. That's the one thing you don't do.
Right.
Whether you're protesting or you're for the national anthem, have the respect for what you're doing and why you're doing it.
Right.
When you're sitting up walking around, you're showing no respect for either side.
Either side at all.
Right.
Right. Like a 5-year-old just not listening to nobody, nothing in class.
To me, that was throwing a tantrum. That's bullshit.
Right.
Be a man, suck it up.
Yeah.
Kneel, sit up. At least show the respect that the national anthem deserves, whether you're sitting or kneeling.
Right.
Or standing or kneeling.
So then let me ask you, what do you think the $89 million is going toward? Is that a good thing or bad thing? Now, those of y'all that might not know, the NFL that went ahead and came up with an agreement with the Players Association. Right. We're going to basically give over almost $100 million, but it's $89 million over the course of the next, was it 7 years?
Yeah.
7 years to injustice, to social awareness in the communities, to bridge the gaps of divide in all of our areas. But not one of those things, have to go with the education of police, against police brutality. Not one of those programs that the NFL has decided to put this money toward is going toward any of that about the social injustice done by police against our community. So then the question comes, does the NFL even want to touch that? You see what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of things that go not from the bottom level, but you get into the law, and we're going to help you or tell you how you should be working with your community, and let's stop killing people, beating people down insenselessly. You know, so in my views, it's good, but it's not good because it's really not touching on what it needs to. It's going around the bush in a sense, but it's not going directly to the root.
Right. At the same time, so I'm not anti-police by any means.
Oh no, I'm not either.
My grandfather was a CHIPS, and he was a Yavapai County Sheriff.
Okay.
So he did that for many years. So I have good knowledge. My wife's cousin is also he's a recently retired Phoenix PD.
Okay.
All right. So there's a lot of history in my family to where
right.
The law enforcement's in our background. I think there's a lot of misunderstanding on both sides, and this could be another show as far as understanding the rights of the police versus the rights of the citizen.
Right.
So to do an educational program towards the police, it's like when your company does the sexual harassment meeting, and you've never done sexual harassment, you're never going to. Well, you believe you're never going to.
Right.
It's.
You might see it, but you ain't actually gonna smack that booty when it walk by.
Right.
Even how good it look. Yeah. You like, oh, good. I'm not going there.
It's personal restraint. It's personal responsibility.
Exactly.
And that goes on the other side, right? It's personal responsibility. So a lot of that also has to do with educating the citizens of how they're supposed to act and react around cops. For example, you don't argue with cops. There's no need for it, right? Again, this is another show because there's a lot to it.
Because
there's a lot to it.
You have to think. You say citizens, but what about how cops act around citizens
Right.
that they're uncomfortable with.
Yeah.
Because police go into crowds that they have their own stereotypes. They have their own fears about the people that they're going in to protect or
Right.
going in to apprehend, or
Right.
they may be going to search for.
Right.
So how about education on their end? How would we even touch or start that to educate them on how to deal with the different elements of society? Because is their training not still archaic in a sense?
No. So their training is meant for them to go home at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. Granted, we want everybody to go home at the end of the day.
Right.
And by go home, I mean go home.
Wake up,
Right.
go to work,
Limbs
whatever you
intact, less
Come home,
same,
see
same
your
number of
family.
holes in your body as there was the next day.
That's right. Same number of limbs. That's right.
Right?
Right.
So to tell them to go, treat everybody kindly.
That's the golden rule.
Right. Well, of course. But I don't know if you saw the movie Demolition Man.
Yep.
Back in the day, right?
Oh,
With,
yeah.
With,
Wesley Snipes.
Wesley Snipes.
Wesley Snipes and
Yeah,
Sylvester.
yeah.
Slide, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that whole police force was about being nice to their citizens,
Right.
Until they come across Wesley Snipes, and he's like, "Fuck you," bam,
Right.
right to Benjamin Bratt's character. He's like,
Yeah.
"Fuck you," bam.
Wesley like the man.
Yeah.
He was basically American gangster
Right.
back in that movie.
Right.
Right.
Right. And it just happens to be the black man. But whether you're a black man or right,
Right.
if that's not your train of thought, that should not be the police's train of thought.
Gotcha.
Because you don't want them to approach a criminal, whether they're for you or against you. The criminal, if you're being you're having a home invasion, the last thing you want is a cop to come and go, "Is everybody okay?" No, you want to come in guns blazing and take out their bad guy.
Unless I get to him first.
Right.
You
Well,
know,
and that's your right. You take
Yeah.
take them out before the cops get there, and that way they can go, good fucking job,
Yeah.
man.
Cause you come to my house, you might not leave.
Right.
I'm just gonna say that if
Right.
it's in the dark time,
Right.
and I'm asleep.
Right.
Let's just hope.
Yep.
Now, if you want to leave by 12 and I'm still up, then you good.
Right.
But you come in at 2, you might not leave at 4. I'm just saying. It's like the lottery. You take your chances. Don't come to my house from 2 to 4. You might not leave. You might not even get in. Just say that. You might not even make it through the window or the door or the garage. The garage going to be closed. So that only leaves 2 options. Either way it go, you're taking your chances like the lottery.
Right.
So, I mean, side note, but
Go ahead.
just give a
All
fair
right.
warning out there.
All right. All right. So that's essentially our points. Right. So there's 2 sides. Right. You have to understand there's social injustice when it comes to individuals. Absolutely.
Yes.
And there's always room to educate individuals.
Yes.
So go back to your point where the NFL giving money to these charities. Another problem with charities. That's a whole other thing.
Well, yeah.
Education programs. If they go to the right education programs, right?
Right.
I would like to see an education program or a charity to where cops and citizens are forced to come together and get understanding of each other, get a comfortability with each other, which allows, but still allow the cops to be cops.
Right.
When they're away from their duty, they're allowed to be human.
Right.
So you can see their human side.
Right.
But when they're on duty, you gotta allow those guys to be cops.
Right. Well, it's like some of the programs, as far as trying to bring about that change in our social reform. You have to think about it like the DARE program. Does that even exist? Because I have heard they have eliminated the DARE program, but that is a very good program because it put cops on the beat in the street. It put cops on the front 4 line where you're actually talking to the kids, you're educating the kids, the stranger danger laws and things of that nature. Yeah. So those programs.
God bless you, Nancy Reagan, on that part.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Big NR message,
Yep,
so those type of things, maybe it has to be to the point where we have to be more creative in trying to educate cops and our people as far as being cohesive in today's world. Because it's not like they're just dealing with gangsters and gangsters and crime and theft. You're dealing with a new breed in a sense of criminal. You're dealing with technology now. You know, you're dealing with Facebook bullies as well as regular bullies. You're dealing with sexual harassment issues. You know, things of that issue. Well, I guess that's not a new breed thing, but actually in today's world, because sexual harassment really was irrelevant 30 years ago, but now everybody, you pat me on my booty, I'm suing you. You know, but you know, it's just things about how are we going to educate our society about what's going on today. And how do we cross those bridges in doing that? So, you know, there's a lot coming forward. But since we were on harassment and stuff,
we brought it up.
You know, I brought it up, so I mean, we could, you know, jump into a big thing which we all know about right now is how many greedy fingers do we have in the Hollywood industry? With that said, I went ahead and did a little research on this, and I quite found it disturbing to find out right now we have currently 34 people, executive
people.
34 famous people, Hollywood, famous and powerful, like strong, powerful. Basically the top guys in the industry of Hollywood putting on all these shows in which we watch. So much goes behind the scenes that we don't know, but in this world, everything is PC correct, so we're bringing it true to light. So 34 people came down, which really hurt, but I have a list, and I just want to share this list. You know, we all know about Harvey Weinstein, which you don't know, then you heard that name so much, you was like, is this a new pair of drawers coming out? What the hell? Because you hear everybody being touched.
Those Harvey Weinsteins.
I need some of them HWs, baby, because everybody getting touched by them HWs. And come to find out, it didn't even stop there. His brother, Bob Weinstein. So we know that, you know, tickle fingers grows in the family, you know. So, and beyond that, we have I'm just going to read the list. Andrew Kreisberg, for y'all that don't know, I didn't know, this is the dude that wrote the Supergirl and the Flash on the WB network. Andy Dick, Ben Affleck, Brett Ratner. Yeah, Andy Dick. That's yeah. We have Chris Savino, David Goyard, Dustin Hoffman. Come on, Raymond. I'm shocked. I'm shocked. I'm shocked. It's 10:50. I'm shocked that Raymond's on there. But hey, you know, right. Ed Westbrook, Gary Goodard, George Takei. I
love George Takei.
Star Trek. Yeah, what was he on Star Trek? He was the Zulu, the doctor, right?
No. He was an engineer.
The engineer, Mr. Zulu. Yeah. Stat. How much time?
The navigator,
right?
Type guy. Yeah.
You know, so we got
Not
George
the Scotty
Gordon.
engineer, but the navigator.
Yeah, I like Scotty. I like Scotty. Yeah. You know, we have James Toback, Jeffrey Tambor, Jeremy Piven, John Lasseter. Isn't that Iron Man?
John Lasseter.
Didn't he have something to do with? Was he an actor? He was an actor and producer, right?
No, you're thinking of John Favreau.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Favreau's the man.
Favreau.
So if you're watching this John Favreau, you're the man.
Yeah, Favreau, you the dog. You good guy. Yeah. You know. Kevin Spacey. Look. Kevin Spacey, to me, I'm cross with Kev, man. I'm really hurt. Okay, I understand the lifestyle, you know, and Kev's like, hey, man, you know, if it happened back then, I'm truly sorry. And, you know, that's a damn shame. When you take so many drugs, you don't know what the hell you done did or who you done touched or where you have been. Mm-hmm. Now, 98% of my recollection, I know where I have been or who I have danced with in my birthday suit. You know, there may be one, you know, but that was just a little too much liquor. Okay, but when you get up the next day, you are reminded because I do wake up sober. And I do remember some of those things I will not even share my boy about. I ain't going to tell him. He's just going to keep that to the closet, okay? Now, you know, but Kevin Spacey is the man. This is a usual suspect. Kevin Spacey is the man. But when I heard that, a little hurt, man, because it was so bad with Kevin Spacey. He's in England. And they started a website just to see how many people he has interacted with. That's bad. That's like horrible.
Yeah. What's the website?
You see. No, I was gonna hurt myself too much. I ain't want to give out and spread the news with Kev. But if the people want to know, I mean, we'll go ahead and put that out. You know. So the King, we got Louis C.K. Louis C.K. is not an author.
No, he's a comedian.
No, the comedian. Oh yeah, with the black hair. Yeah, Louis
No,
C.K.
the red hair.
Red hair?
Yeah.
Oh, Louis C.K. See, I gotta
go that here.
I gotta actually get my things
like
down.
That's it.
Oh yes, Louis C.K. That's right, Half Moon Ball guy. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, actor.
Yep.
Mark Schwann, Matthew Weiner, Nick Carter. Yeah, Nick Carter, Backstreet Boys. All y'all ladies.
I thought you were talking about Powerful.
Oh well, you know, I mean, he powerful to them singing people. You
All
know,
right, I guess.
Oliver Stone.
Yeah, that's Oliver Stone.
Oliver Stone's an OG in the movie industry.
Yeah, but I heard that one.
Yeah, you heard a little
that
something?
That one's a farce.
Oh,
Farther from what I've read.
Oh, okay. So, Oliver's not too.
Nah.
So he, you know, now, okay, I have a comment out there. We got Peter Alabek Jensen, R. Kelly, which this is the thing with R. Kelly. Okay, his own community denounced R. Kelly after the Golden Shower incident when he peed on a girl. First of all, I don't understand how you want to pee on no girl. Anyway, she's not a toilet, but. So people do some strange stuff. Okay,
Well,
now
I don't know how the girl wants to be peed on. I know. When I go to bed right after going to go and pee, and I touch up against my wife, and a little bit trips out, she's like, "Hey, get the fuck off me!"
Right,
You know,
maybe that urine smell.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
pheromones.
Yeah.
Something. I don't.
guess.
Maybe
I don't know.
turned on you.
I know. She didn't.
I don't know.
I know my wife doesn't like it.
Maybe she just wanted to have a new color.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Maybe.
Tint up a little
I
bit.
guess.
You know, coat her up. It's like work like lotion.
Yeah.
Just soak into the skin real good. I don't know. It's something. You know, wasn't no jellyfish at the time, so I
No,
don't know why
jellyfish,
he
yeah.
had to be peed on. I don't know.
Or maybe she has PSD with jellyfish, and that kind of calmed her down.
That could have done something too, you
could've,
know. So, but R. Kelly. So everybody says, okay, we're gonna get rid of R. Kelly. Well, what happens on his next album? It goes gold. If you're not talking about we are forgiving society, damn it, we forgave real quick.
Be right back.
Okay, not a problem. So we also have Richard Dreyfuss, Roman Polanski, Roy Price, Tom Sizemore, and then we have this rapper XXXTentacion. Basically, it's XXXTentacion. So, yeah, that's a difficult name. But just to tell you about that rapper, he's a little off. I mean, he was sitting up here trying to choke his lady out, punch her, then threaten her, headlock her, and all those other type of things. And it's just not a good look. And he's a young man, very young man, but he's also very disturbed, you know. We have Matt Lauer, which you all know happened in the news here today. And then we have one of the great leaders within the African community is Russell Simmons. So... yeah, it's something with Russell, but you know, some of these you try to say, hey, they're not true. Some of them if it is what it is, but we will never know because, like we already said, there's his side, her side, and the truth, which will set you free. Mm-hmm. All right, so just bringing awareness to those things here within this industry, and it just seems like Harvey Weinstein just basically opened up the floodgate. So when one said, "Hey, this is not acceptable," looks like 500 other people came out the woodwork and said, "Hey, I've been touched too. Hey, I've been touched too." So the question is, how bad were you touched? Were you touched to a point where, oh, they just groped me, and I didn't mind it at the time, but now it's 20 years later and I was feeling uncomfortable? You know, a lot of things come to question is, why do you wait so long? Why? Because if you've been robbed, do you wait 20 years to call the police? You know, if you've been molested or your child's been hurt, do you wait 20 years to go have that justice? Nah, I'm old school. Someone touch about me and my kin, we gonna go out and we gonna handle that now. Not tomorrow, not 20 years from now, we gonna handle it now. You know, so that's always the question is why the delay? Do you need a bandwagon to help you with encouragement on that? I do understand that being violated in your personal as a woman or a man is very uncomfortable. It puts you in a certain displacement.
I will say it's harder to sexually harass a man than it is a woman. And by that, not that you can't, right?
Right.
But let's take, for example, so we'll go back to the Harvey Weinstein incident, right?
Right.
So some of the women he has allegations against them. One of them is Ashley Judd.
Yeah.
Now, if the table was turned and Ashley Judd said, "Hey, Harvey, with some of this," he would have been like, "All right, let's do it." You know? There's no sexual harassment there. That's a
gun hold.
We're on.
Right.
We're on.
It's Ashley Judd.
It's Ashley Judd.
It's AJ.
Right?
We're taking this to the closet.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, at this point, up to the point, except for the fact that I have my beautiful wife, I love you. But
yeah, you gotta put that in there.
But,
honey,
Betty White right now came up to me and said, "I can advance your career. All I have to do is cut down on this." Like, well, one, it's Betty White because who doesn't want to hit Betty White still, right? I mean, Betty White to advance my career. All right, let's do it.
Betty,
let's do it, Betty.
Betty. Hey,
let's spread some of that white.
Betty.
Yeah.
I don't see a problem with an AARP pad if it's set up in the right conditions. I don't have a problem with it. Right. I mean,
I'd hit it and buy the shirt. I got some Betty White.
So, just a little tap back. We just wanted to bring to the I family's attention here. Just wanted to go ahead and talk about some of the big people out there. Of course, if you guys have any type of comments or feedbacks about what you think about what's going on in Hollywood, definitely we want to hear all of that. But like we say, it's opinion, not always facts. But we will go ahead and share what we share what we find with you. So we definitely want to be interactive. So definitely respond. We damn sure love it. I do know on a side note, we do have one. Speaking of your wife, your wife really wants to punch in this Browns thing.
Yep.
Now I'm gonna tell you something, Miss Feeler fan. I don't care what y'all record is. You're still a Feeler fan, okay? So Browns. We don't have to put my record out there neither. Everybody know that, we almost gonna be the second Detroit, we got to put the record out there. So we ain't won a game yet. So I'm just going to let people know that. The Browns ain't won a game yet. The Browns are so damn bad. If they go 0-16 like Detroit, I actually might have to denounce them and look for a new team. Okay, so be tuned. Because I might be riding on a different team coming up here. Yeah. Now, I've been in the game all my life, so it's not just jumping on the bandwagon. No, I ain't looking at no Patriots. But if I choose a team, I'm gonna choose a team I have some connection with, that I go back, and I go back in the day when I first started watching, football itself. I can tell you, my biggest memory of watching football right now was Joe Theismann era, when Art Monk went and caught that catch in the back of the end zone from Theismann, and they was playing. I was so young, I can't even go. The year at the time, because I know it was like early 80s. But when I seen Art Monk catch that touchdown in the back, I was like, yo, I want to be that guy. Art Monk is a stud. And Joe Theismann, he was a stud too. LT, bigger stud. I actually got that game on tape. When that leg broke, I was like, whoo. I want to play this game. I don't know why, but when I saw Joe Theismann's leg get broke, I was like, I'm sorry for you, Joe. But man, LT, I wanted to be LT. I wanted to be defense, dog. Coming around cracking somebody like that, although it was a shame, to see Joe Theismann's leg get buckled down. I have to admit, it was a shame. But, that's one of the memories that really got me truly into that game, though. Don't know how we got to that, but, sometimes I can get long-winded and go off course. That's my ADHD, so don't even bother with that. Just go past that, okay? Just go past that.
So, well, this is a good time. We might as well get into some sports.
Oh, we can talk about some sports.
Right.
Yeah, we can talk about some sports.
So, first thing, we're going to introduce our teams. So, I'm a Buffalo Bills fan. The reason for that, it's the whitest signing team in there because, we like to pay our bills.
4 Super Bowls, no wins. I'm just saying.
That's actually
just saying.
I jumped on the bandwagon at the time. I was new into football. I didn't know, but
y'all went to 4 Super Bowls. You can say you went to 4 Super Bowls. Okay, Browns last time they went to the Super Bowl was 1952 or 54. That's when we actually won the dang thing, and that was prior to the NFL.
I thought not to negate your Browns history, but I actually thought they were the last AFC champions before the Super Bowl. So was that 60?
See, it was somewhere.
Yeah, like 1950s
and 60s.
67 was the first Super Bowl. So 66.
It's the Ice Bowl.
Yeah,
that was a 67.
I think it was 67.
Yeah, so that would be before that. So see, the Browns was champions when there was no NFL. Yeah, now that's a shame.
They were the last AFC champions.
That's a shame.
And prior to that, the Buffalo Bills won the 2 prior to that.
That's a shame.
Right. So neither one of us have won a Super Bowl since the
But you went
NFL.
to the Super Bowl 4 times. Now, it's hard enough going to the Super Bowl once. Okay. Then you go again the next year. Okay, that's a feat in its own. Then you go again the next year. Okay, you in the trifecta. Now, what's the odds on that? Then you go again. Now, I have to say Marv Levy. That's his name.
Marv is the man.
Marv is the man. To get your, even though you did not win, you went to the Super Bowl 4 times. Dan Marino went how many times?
None.
Once.
Oh, yeah, once.
He went once, his rookie career,
That's right.
and never been there again.
Yep.
And he's had squads.
Yep.
But that just tells you who Marv was. Marv was the man. In order to get back there 4 times to do what he did, even though they were unsuccessful. 4 times? Come on, 4 times? Mm-hmm. I got to give it to him. Big Bruce out there?
Yep.
Woo! Andre Reed? Woo! I give it to him. Got Mr. Kelly?
Don Beebe?
Jim Kelly.
Kelly.
We ain't talking about his son with the
Yeah,
attitude.
yeah.
You know, and that's another thing. All these
No, it's his nephew.
That's his nephew?
It's his nephew.
Yeah, these NFL players, they younger kin, they come in the league with egos and attitudes like, I deserve this. Yeah. Chris Carter's son. No, dog, you don't deserve
McCaffrey
shit.
Done anything this year?
Well, he got in. He's humble.
Yeah,
now, McCaffrey's humble.
Yeah.
And he asked for the ball more. He's actually getting the ball more, but he's not outside his bounds. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I had to say McCaffrey's humble. He didn't came into the league. He shut his mouth. He do what he got to do.
Well, and the Matthews.
Oh, the Matthews.
Matthews are always...
All the Matthews, yep. Got to give them. Because
Yep.
Clay Matthews, Browns, baby. All damn day. All damn day. All damn. You and the Suns. All damn day. Oh, let's not forget Hawk.
Hawk, yeah.
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 You know.
TJ Hawk.
Yeah, let's not forget them. But you know, some of the pedigree in the NFL,
Yep.
you know, it's more I deserve this than more humble. But
Right.
you do have those guys out there, yeah, buddy. I give it to the Matthews boy. Humble.
Yep.
And they're beasts.
And they show it.
All of them.
Yep.
Beasts, you know. So, you know, you had said something about, you know, your Buffalo Bills.
Yes.
What you dawned on me was, side note, we was just got to talking about cheerleaders.
Right.
You know, so I didn't know the Buffalo Bills cheerleader's name was the Buffalo Jills. So when my man told me that, I went off the limb and I just wanted to know what are some of the other names of, you know, the cheerleaders. Now, for one, I think cheerleaders is eye candy, you know, on the squad. However, you know, it's for what it is. They're part of football. You know what I'm saying? So, I like to pay attention to the game. I really don't like to sit up here and watch the camera pan from left to right about swinging some damn pom-poms when I'm missing the action about somebody getting sacked on the field. That bothers me, you know. So, I did have a list here, so I do have to pull up my list here with the cheerleaders, though. Have to get back to that. No, because see, that's the new thing when I'm trademarking on something coming up. So that's the tab that I had already pulled off. So I had to pull that back. So you know, first show technical difficulties. This is the first show.
Because that'll be to be continued for the next sports segment.
We'll go ahead and get that,
Yeah.
and we'll definitely put it on. You know, like we said, we're gonna go ahead and hashtag iFam. You know, so we're gonna get that out there too for you. Not a problem, but. You know, as we go down, we can continue on. Now, you did have, when we was talking about that, you said, you know, side note, you jumped into baseball because, you know, the World Series just banged off.
Yep.
And I was sitting there talking about, I was hurt about the Indians when they ran into them Yankees. Man, them damn Yankees.
Yep.
Indians, I love you, baby. The Yankees is my number 2 team. So I was just crossed with emotions. I was wanting them Indians to rile up because, you know, Cleveland, we need that. We need that. But them damn Yankees, that Aaron Judge, man, 6'7", stud out there in the outfield, man. He come to the plate, man, it's gone. Yeah. You know, it's just a shame. But you said something about the World Series and the teams.
Yeah. So congratulations to the Houston Astros.
Yes, congrats.
Let's say this is the first World Series in history where 2 National League teams have played.
Now, what you mean by that, 2 National Leagues? Because the World Series, as we all know, is American League and National League.
Right.
Okay.
So you had the Dodgers. They're the National League representatives.
Right.
But the Houston Astros, up until a few years ago, have always been a National League team.
Right.
They're a National League team. They have been. They should be. That's where they belong. National League. So once they finally brought them over to the, I don't want to say a little lesser because actually I'm a Royals fan and they're in the American League, but the lesser competitive American League side. Then they had their shot to get to the World Series and win.
Right.
So 2 National League teams playing in the World Series. Never thought I'd see the day. It's terrible.
Didn't even know that. Most of us just watch baseball. We just watch baseball. A lot of us don't have a long history of baseball and notice that, hey, Astros used to be National League.
Yep.
Now they're American
Yep.
League. Now, is the American League easier than the National League?
You would think with the way they play.
Is the pitching better or less?
Well, see, on the National League side, the pitchers have to bat.
Okay.
So on the American League side, they get the DH.
Oh.
So that you get additional power when you have the DH versus
Right.
the pitcher having to hit. Now, Hall of Famer and pitching great Randy Johnson.
Love him.
He said he always preferred being in the National League,
Right.
Because he liked to bat.
Right.
He said he was never very good at it, but he liked to bat because
Right.
he wanted to be a competitor because he
Right.
was a true competitor.
Right.
And not to say there weren't great National League pitching batters.
Right.
Fernando Valenzuela.
Yeah.
He was awesome with the bat. You know, he was a pitcher.
Right.
And as far as stats go, pitching batter, he was tops. He could hit those home runs. There's a few others, but when you have somebody who's crafted their skills as being a pitcher versus somebody who's batting, you have an edge there in the American League side.
Right. And when you said, speaking of pitchers, you said Randy Johnson.
Randy Johnson.
Okay. There's two pitchers that I know that stay ready. Randy Johnson and Nolan Ryan.
Yep.
Walk up on them if you want to.
Yep.
YouTube Randy Johnson fighting. YouTube Nolan Ryan fighting.
Yeah.
Okay. Batter walked on them. They did not walk up on them again. Let me
Right.
just say that. That is an intimidator of the mound.
Sure.
That would be both too. I think so.
Yeah,
I'm going to handle that. But,
Okay.
just give me 1 second
All right.
while I bridge into the next one.
All right. So going into that. So that's not to say. Well, so some people argue that they had to put the Astros in the American League to redivide the divisions because they were off-centered. Well, prior to that, so the Brewers used to be they are a National League team now, and they used to be American League. So why would they change one to National League, and then years later be we're undivided, and then change another one to the American League? That doesn't make sense. Why break why fix something that's not broken?
Right.
And granted, I'm a traditionalist, so that kind of hurts me because my biggest rival, like I said, I'm a Royals fan, huge Kansas City Royals. George Brett was my dude, so it was also always awesome to see these games when George Brett and Robert Yount were against each other. It's just one of those. It's kind of like Magic and Larry, Magic and Bird. Just one of those things. So to now to know that there never will be that Kansas City Milwaukee rivalry. That was a rivalry. It's just that thing,
Right.
Yount versus Brett.
Right.
It's not going to be there again.
Yeah, because that just brings me to notion which rivalries have gone. So, to our public, let us know which rivalries do you wish you could see, or what problems do you have about your current teams? Division changes, rivalries not happening anymore. One rivalry I do know that you always still see is Boston and New York.
Yep. New York. Yep.
That shit is on, they must play 12 times a year.
Yep.
And that is the only one that every game is always televised. Yep. So it's a slap hitter, but every game is always televised. So it is interesting to see, what are people like and dislike about their teams going in now. Like I know the Browns right now, it's not necessarily quarterback. Let's just win one and let's just get the damn front office to give the coach what he needs because Hugh Jackson's a good coach. And if you get rid of Hugh, who you gonna grab? Who you gonna grab?
Yeah,
get rid of the front office with our damn analytics.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Get some boys in there that like to hit. That don't be talking about, I got hit and I got to go sit on the sideline with some ice because my finger. Nah, I want some old school Sean Taylors. Give me some Sean Taylors that come in here, bow, knock the ish out you, and knock your breath loose. That's what I want to see. Give us some hit that's gonna bring some heart back.
Give me this Dan Deerdorf for some Johnny Riggins.
Right.
You know, the guys like to run through the body.
Riggins, and Craig, Roger Craig. Them high knees, running to them high knees. If you want to, you go pop, pop, double uppercut with some knee pads. Think about that. How many Eric Dickersons are still in the league? Coming up the middle. Whoo! Eric, Ironwood Haywood.
Yeah.
Woo! Boy, because, I ain't no Jim Browns. I'm just going. There's only one Jim Brown. Let's just go with that. There's only one Jim Brown, so we'll leave that one. So
and to say the name, OJ.
Oh, OJ
is the man.
First
2,000-yard rusher in NFL history.
You gotta give Juice his juice, man.
Yeah. He can murder that defense.
Yeah, literally. And he'll jump over you just like he did in that Hearst commercial.
That's right.
He was the first dude to come out hurdling people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just hurdle right over.
He'll take off his gloves and slice you.
You know what I'm saying? And then you got to prove that he was there.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Imagine. Good luck with that. So now, I know, as far as the first show, ladies and gents, we just some tidbits we had in the mind that we just want to come up and share with you all the time here. So we do have some other things coming down the works here, but I did want to go ahead and leave you with a little. Always, you got to have a health note. Every show has some type of health note. It's the holidays. We all getting fit. And then we're gonna be worrying about losing it when the holiday. Well, some of us are gonna worry about losing it when the holidays are over. So
get ready for bikini season.
Right. Saying got to find a beach somewhere so you can sport off the round pack. So working on that. But one thing that I what you don't know is that I'm a big advocate on the fight of cancer, prostate cancer. And diabetes. I had 2 family members that passed away from diabetes. Rest in peace, my grandfather and my younger cousin Deanna. Rest in peace to her. But I'm a big one. I just want to enlighten people on basically what it is. And one of the biggest farce in my studies is that I just want to share this. We'll go into this in future shows, but just wanted to share that. Diabetes is not the same. Not cause from what we may think is, too much sugar and things. Like when you hear people, oh, you got the sugar water. That's one thing you hear within the black community is, oh, you got the sugars. Yeah, that's diabetes, but that's not from sugar. I don't know where the sugar waters came from. I had to do some research on that saying, but it's not from sugars. It's from your meats. So I challenge everybody to, look into that a little bit. Where you be from your meats? Those carcinogens that we're eating. That's where your diabetes is coming from directly from. It's from those meats. So what I do want to challenge people is I want to introduce something called alkaline foods. Okay, 7 alkaline foods. All right, these are the 7 greens I'm going to go ahead and introduce you guys and challenge you guys to start incorporating in your daily lives every day. If you could have them on every meal, that's even better for you, okay? So basically, your 7 alkaline foods for vegetables is going to come with your spinach, kale, cucumbers, broccolis, avocado, celery, and bell peppers or capsicums. Okay, well, first you got to say, well, what's an alkaline food? Basically, to break it down just as simple as we can say is that your body is composed of negative and positive ions, okay? So basically, an alkaline food is something that has the pH of a 7 or greater. Now, basically, pH means we could say percent of a potential of hydrogen, okay? So that's basically your pH. Now, there is a scale of 0 to 14. 7, meaning that any foods that you ingest or take in that have a pH of less than 7 are considered acidic. We all know acidic, root word acid. You have tomato sauce, pastas, things of those natures are less than 7 would be considered acidic, okay? Anything over 7 is considered alkaline. Positive ions, negative ions. Lower than 7, negative ions. Over 7, positive ions. Basically that simple. So with that, I do want to challenge my IFAM, internet family. Hashtag bow, message, get it, to start incorporating more of our 7 alkaline foods. We want to be there healthier. I've had a spell here where I actually had to change up some things, in my own health because my levels was off, and I want to be around for a little while longer. I do want to live more than 10 more years, fortunate if I am. So I knock on wood, send out blessings, and let me go ahead and give me oxygen tank, whatever it takes, but it just starts with genuine education. Hence this show. It's all about educating. We're gonna talk, we're gonna communicate. We might have some wrinkles. That's what the iron's for. We're gonna iron them out so we can have a better understanding. So like I said, I just challenged my iFam, internet family, to go out and start incorporating your 7 alkaline foods. Now, coming up next, we're going to have some, in further shows, I'm going to go ahead and get a little further into this and maybe go ahead and share some fruits, maybe share some type of dishes, because I only know of 2 right now, so we're still working on that. It's not something that I say, oh, I live by this. No, like I said, it's a change that I'm making within myself so I can become more healthier. My breathing itself was off. I have asthma. So certain things that I noticed that in my habits I had to change up so I can just, in order to live better, breathe better, and think a little clearer, So I just wanted to leave you guys with that for this one right here.
And to help peel off onto that subject, so the reason for the alkaline foods, so on the pH schedule levels scale, human body is naturally more alkaline. So when you start dropping below that 7.0, that's when you start getting sick. That's when your sickness out. When you get the flu, when you get a cold, when you get asthma attacks, any of that kind of stuff, it's because your pH level is off. So to help with that, on top of your alkaline foods, get some raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar. Drink 2 teaspoons every day. You can do it straight. Put it in a bottle of water with some flavoring. However is easier for you. Don't matter. But you want the raw unfiltered because you want that bacteria that's in there as well. That's good bacteria, almost like that shit that helps you take a shit. You want some of those, and then the alkaline levels from the vinegar will keep you that balance, so you don't get sick as often. That's a tip I learned from my life mentor, Mr. Dr. G. George Henderson.
Right. Because there's good fat, bad fat. So there's good bacteria, bad bacteria, as we all know. So, just wanted to educate a little bit to our people here for this show here. And at this point, for topics of the day, that concludes about this show here. I wanted to leave off with a little health tip for you, a little challenge to you, and a little response. So feel free to give us any one of those 3 is what you want to accept the challenge. You have something to say. You want to respond to anything we've talked about today. Anytime from the sports, from the movie industry, and all the touchy fingers and slapping booties with what's going on in there with the allegations.
We'll dive more into that, I'm sure, later on different shows. We'll probably bring in some special guests to help talk about these subjects. Because they're important subjects that we want further understanding. Why wait so long to come forward? I want understanding as to that.
Right.
So that might be something that we'll bring up and talk with somebody. Whether they feel comfortable talking about it on camera, off camera, however they feel comfortable with it. I just want understanding.
Right. Definitely so. So, do want to say to the IM fam, peace, love. I always say peace. Positive education always corrects error. So that's my hello and goodbye. Hello, America, and peace out to you.
And I just want to give a quick shout out. My girl Leslie Taylor did my hair. Hair by Leslie. She does a fantastic job. So yeah, look at that.
Nice job, Leslie. Nice job, Leslie.
She teaches me how to style. She's like, do it this way, and then do it this way. I'm like, I just comb it. She said, no, do it this way, and then do it this way, and then you look good. I'm like, I look good anyway. Right. Yeah, but do it this way. I'm like, all right. So this is how I come up with it.
Right. So definitely. Other than that, about to sign off. Much love, and we'll go ahead and see you next time.
Yeah. Apologize for the inconvenience.
Peace.